I'm here with NneNna Carr, and she's going to tell us a little bit about herself, her entrepreneur journey, how she got started in her field, and what really drives her.
There is no one else in creation like you. There's nobody like you. And what you've come to do and what you have to offer is like no other.
So hello guys, how are you? My name is NneNna Carr. I am an instructional designer. Instructional design is a fairly new career field that people are trying to go into. A lot of times people think it's associated with teaching, such as the teachers that you have, in school, but it's actually basically building courses for corporations, small business owners. I primarily work with like government contractors that are trying to monetize with their small businesses. And I also create courses and things such as Canva, persuasive brand design, basically helping people create their brand. So like all the clothes that you love, the people behind that make it come to life. I help people create courses behind that. But yes, I am originally from Oklahoma City, Oklahoma. I joined the military at 19 years old. I stayed in the Air Force for 14 years. And then I abruptly got out. I went to my first job interview and I said, I don't want to do this. And then I jumped into a full-time entrepreneurship. I've been a full-time entrepreneur for 7 years. I'm a mom. I have a 16-year-old. I'm an autism mom. I have ADHD. I'm a big advocate on special needs advocacy. But yeah, so that's basically what I do. I have a business called House of Streams where I teach different courses, like I said, ranging from Canva all the way up to a different program. I help homeschooling moms, all that. But basically what I do is I create courses and different platforms, and I help people just, learn to love learning again. But yeah, I'm happy to be here and see you guys today. I have been in this industry officially for House of Streams for 2 years, but I started teaching back in my military days. I used to teach a course called TetraMap, which is a personality assessment course. I started out doing that because they gave me the course and I had no clue on how to teach, but they gave me the course and I said, you know what, this doesn't feel right. So I revamped it and I fell in love with teaching by redoing that course. And they ended up flying me all around to teach for the military. I went to Africa, I went to LA, San Antonio, Boston to teach, and I fell in love with teaching. So once I got out of the military, I did a number of businesses and fell into House of Streams is what I do now, teaching, and I've done that for 2 years. When I got out of the military, I used my GI Bill and I got a marketing degree. So I also do brand strategy because I learned marketing. Then after that, I got my MBA. I have a Master's of Business and Administration, and it's a minor in sales and marketing, but I am now currently learning formal training for instructional design with Idol Academy, which I start in March.
Can you go into what Canva is a little bit?
So Canva is a online design tool. It's growing in popularity. It's basically a way that everyday users can do graphic design. It has a lot of different templates that people can use and take advantage of to build things such as flyers. You can actually build websites there. You can actually build courses there now. It's a very low-cost platform that people can use to really learn graphic design and advance their graphic design skills without formal training. Because a part of what I do is I help people create course content. So a lot of times people are like, oh, I have a course, I love what I'm teaching, but I don't know how to make the workbooks or I don't know how to make the handouts. And Canva makes it extremely easy for either me to do it or I can teach them pretty fast on how they can do it for themselves. So a lot of times people don't want to get help and they want to learn it alongside with you. So Canva is great because it allows them to do that. As I mentioned before, my love for learning, but I also want to say my love for people. I love people. I love learning how people tick, basically. So the way that I teach, I do what they call brain-centric learning. So I'm a brain nerd. I love studying the brain because it helps you understand who you are and it helps make teaching that actually sticks. I'm gonna start off with entrepreneurship because I'm one person that likes to give the real and raw of entrepreneurship. I started abruptly. I got out of the military. I decided I didn't want to do the military, and I just kind of jumped into entrepreneurship full time. No plan, no money, just vibes, right? So I jumped into entrepreneurship, and it was a very long journey. And so one thing that I always say, due to me doing the hustle culture and burning myself out to the point where I landed in a hospital, put your humanity first. Remember that you are a human first that has their own needs, their own basic needs need to be met. You need rest, you need time to spend with your family, you need connection. Always make sure that you're putting that first. Make sure that you are understanding your limits, have a good idea of what you're ready for and what you're not ready for. I always say move at the pace of your peace, not what the world tells you to do as far as you need to be here by this time. You need to be there. Put your humanity first. Remember that you are a human first. Remember that you have to put your needs first over anyone, because at the end of the day, when things go right or wrong, you are the person that is going to be doing the work and facing the consequences. So make sure that you rest. Understand that hustle culture is not a lifestyle, it's a season. Make sure that you are taking time and moving at the pace of your peace and moving at a pace that is comfortable to you, and don't be afraid to go for things, even if people tell you that they can't do it. So make sure that with entrepreneurship that you're putting yourself first, but that also applies to work-life balance, being able to put your needs first, your human needs first of shelter, sleep, eating well, do that first, but also schedule everything. If you need timers, calendars, whatever, schedule time with your family and time with yourself. So we all know about AI. AI is a thing, right? And AI, it could be a friend or a foe based on how you do it. So I see a lot of advancement with AI, with the tech part of it. There's going to be a lot of changes with that. So I'm kind of telling myself and other people to kind of ride that curve and get familiar with AI and learn how to leverage it, because the way that you stay employed is by leveraging the things that people are telling you going to, replace you. So I feel like AI is a very important tool to be able to learn when building courses, understanding those tech tools and understanding the technology behind it, but also understanding people, being able to connect with people and being able to understand what their needs are as well as your own. Is going to be big in the future, because authenticity is going to be extremely important with technology, because the human factor is always going to remain, king. So you always want to make sure that you're staying authentic and connecting. So I'm a part of the Virginia Black Chamber of Commerce and also the Maryland Black Chamber of Commerce. That's mainly the two that I'm in right now. I'm just not going to be real. I just now started into the professional organization piece, but those are the two that I'm in right now. But I'm also going to join the Black Instructional Design organization as well. One big book that, I'll say two. One, as an entrepreneur, I highly recommend the book Soul Source Entrepreneur. It is a very good book if you want to be an authentic entrepreneur in any field, right? I say that first because you have to see who you are as an entrepreneur. But also, as far as instructional design is concerned, there's a book called Brain-Centric Design that is very good. It teaches how to teach directly to the brain and teaches you how to connect with other people through your lessons. Be prepared to deal with different personality types and learn that it's okay and that you have to be diverse in your presentations to really meet their needs. Because as I said before, humanity is important. You have to remember your humanity, but you also have to remember other people. So make sure that whatever you do and however you teach courses, that it's connecting on a level that's deeper than just presenting, slides and presentations. Basically, I want everyone to just know that it is a career field. One, a lot of people don't even know it exists. So make sure you do your due diligence. And even with YouTube and things like that, because it is a relatively new field, you're only going to find about this much on it. But make sure that when you're doing it, that you are learning it at a pace that you want. You have the beauty of this career field is that you have the freedom to do it how you want to do it. You have the rules that are the foundation and the framework, but you can leverage it any way that you want. So for example, I do what they call experiential learning. I help people learn through experiencing. You can do it another way. Either way that you want to do it is fine, but you have to make sure that you find a way that works for you and you learn how to connect with the people while you're doing it. The advice that I would have gave myself 15 years ago is 110% bet on yourself. And 15 years ago, I was still in the military. I joined the military simply because I didn't know what else to do with my life, and I wanted to get out of Oklahoma City because it's Oklahoma City, and I wanted to get out, but I had no concrete reason to really join, and I did, and I really loved the experiences that I had, and I learned through those experiences, but I would have rather been there with the reasoning that I truly wanted to be there, rather than just doing it because I was afraid to try something else or afraid to bet on myself. So if I could do it all over again, I would go back and bet on myself and try to just go for it then, and learn my same lessons, but at a different time where I would have the more freedom to be able to experience the things that I wanted to experience, and really go for going for what I really wanted in life. Again, House of Streams is where I host my courses, so you can find that on LinkedIn, IG, and Facebook. It's House of Streams, but also my brand, my personal brand, IG, is Queen of Streams. That's KWEENOF STREAMS. All right, so yeah, my biggest thing with the military, I always say really connect to your why you want to join, because the environment, it's not like just getting a job where it's like, okay, you go to the job and you leave, like that's your life, right? And it's a lot of times I feel like sometimes we get so caught up in, oh, we got the benefits stuff. Think about the way of life, the quality of life that you want, and make sure that it aligns with what you want to do. Like have a real reason why, because it can get stressful. And as you know, it can be a situation where you can be put in forms of danger. So you want to make sure that if you do it, you're doing it because you want to do it, right? And really understand why you want to go, and really do your research. Do your research on different jobs. Do your research on different branches, because I actually was supposed to go to the Navy first. And they were like, you know, you got to swim. And I was like, oh, what the? So the hardest thing was adjusting to people telling me I shouldn't have done it. And the way I did it, because I left the military after 14 years. So for those that don't know, you retire in the military after 20 years. So I was 6 years from retirement. So everyone thought I was nuts. They're like, you're leaving this good job to go struggle, like, you know. And as I said, I did different businesses prior to that. I had no clue what I wanted to do. So I jumped from business to business. I've done things. I've had a hookah company. I have a cleaning company. I've had all these different things trying to figure myself out. And that looks crazy to people, and rightfully so, right? So the biggest thing is understanding, just like the military, understanding your why. And the hardest thing I had to go through, I lost, and I'm very transparent. I don't feed illusions, right? I lost everything twice, okay? This wasn't something that I just jumped into and was immediately successful. I lost everything twice. But if you ask me again, if I would do it all over again, I would say yes, simply because I understood my why. And I knew individual freedom was my priority. And I knew that eventually all I needed to do, I always say that my better days are always on the other side of my growth. So I always made sure that I was constantly learning and understanding the sacrifices. So I always tell people, if you're thinking about it, if you need a safety net, have that safety net. If you just want to go for it, go for it. But whatever you're doing, understand the reason why, because that's the thing that's going to keep you going.
Inspire you to continue doing what you're doing. Like for me, I have my own business. I do photography. And one thing for me is that I like to capture moments. So when I'm feeling, upset, or I'm feeling down, something that, constantly reminds me to continue doing what I'm doing is, getting client feedback, feeling happy and things like that.
So you're doing exactly what I do. I love to celebrate the smallest wins. It could be something so simple. It's like I said, I had a cleaning concierge service. I have it, but I'm closing it. I have staff, right? I have a staff of 5. And having those moments where people write me, and the thing too, when you're getting into a career field, a lot of times people think that, oh, you're just going in and you're going to take pictures. No, you're actually capturing people's lives, milestones in their lives. You're actually changing people's lives. So it's very important for me to understand my impact, and that my small things make an impact. Because if I told you I was cleaning the house, you're going to have the same response I had the first time I did it. Ill, gross, I'm not touching anybody's toilet. But when you realize that you are actually helping people with mental health, that have depression, that have postpartum depression, that have all these different things, and really celebrating those moments and being present enough to be aware when those moments happen, that's what keeps me going. So we're like in that spirit where I celebrate every little thing. Like, I have ADHD. If I remember to send an email on time, I'm like, yes, girl, go ahead. Little things is what keeps me sane, and understanding that I'm actually changing people's lives every day. Okay, I do the best I can, but I always say balance is almost impossible, especially with this economy, because you have to work to eat, right? So the word that I use is harmony, where I like to have work balance harmony, where I work really hard when I need to. I do the family thing really hard when I need to, and I rest when I need to. And I stay very fluid, and I understand that in my humanity that I'm going to change and I'm going to evolve, and my needs are going to evolve with me as long as my family. So I try to make sure that I stay present and really focus on what do I need, what does my daughter need, what does my business need right now. And I tend to that, and I try to make sure that go into a mindset that you're never going to have, it's never going to be a perfect balance. But what you can do is you can create a harmony where you're doing what needs to be done when it needs to be done, and prioritizing yourself, your family, and your mental health. Because like I said, move at the pace of your peace throughout the process.
Is going into a career that entrepreneurship and might not be the most stable, how did you get over the anxiety of taking the first step and ignoring people who said that it wasn't the best idea?
Yeah. So it goes back to connecting to the why and understand why I was doing it, because I came in, basically what happened is I went to a job interview because that's what everybody told me to do. They said, oh girl, you got 14 years of military experience, you got a degree, go get that good job, paying a good amount of money, right? So I was going that route. I went to my first interview, and when they asked the question, I just ran out crying, like literally crying. And I was like, I don't know why I'm crying. I just know this does not feel right. So I had to really connect and sit with myself and figure out, why did that not feel right? What is it that I want? And I didn't know, but it's trusting your intuition and over anything anybody else has to say, because your body always works in your favor, and your body will give you all the signals of what direction to go. And don't be afraid to take chances. Live a life of curiosity.
Where instead of time where you ever wanted to quit or give up?
Oh girl, yes, I wanted to quit 3 weeks ago. Absolutely. It's understanding that it's a part of the game. You're gonna want to quit. And the reason why you're gonna want to quit, because let me tell you something else about entrepreneurship. It will reveal some trauma, unresolved trauma that you didn't know you had, because you're gonna have to create different versions of yourself to elevate. You're gonna have to really relook at yourself and look at your habits and what you're doing and really see if that's a good fit for you. And when you do that, you have to unlearn a lot of things. And sometimes, like even in instructional design, like I said, in the beginning, when I was teaching in the military, that was 7 years ago. So the question is, why didn't I start off doing instructional design? Why? Because I doubted myself. And I was like, oh, let me just go do the thing that's gonna make me the quickest money. But it took years of self-work for me to get the courage to do what I truly wanted to do. And I had to quit. I had to learn the art of quitting, and learning that sometimes it's okay to quit, but quit the right thing. One time I did a course on mindset techniques and helping people overcome adversity and resilience and things like that. There was a girl, trigger warning, she was domestic violence. She was being abused, and I didn't know, and that's one thing, again, living a life of curiosity, just doing for the sake of, I'm doing it because I feel it's right for me, and I feel like this is an expansion of myself. So I did it, and I did not know at that time of her story, but I gave a mindset technique that helped her. And 3 weeks later, she came to me and she said, you're like my superhero cape. And I'm like, what are you talking about? She was like, you told me what to look out for as far as my husband on different signs, and to learn to stand up for myself. So she was actually able to leave that situation, and turns out that her husband was way worse than what she ever imagined. So she actually probably had her life saved through something small. And that goes back to what I was saying, like, you never know the impact of what you're going to do, and that ripple effect. The small things have just make a big impact. So I taught that class thinking that, I'm just going to teach them how to get through their day at work. Whole time I probably saved somebody's life.
Peeves, like, when it comes to business and stuff?
Yes. Yes, I have a lot of pet peeves. I don't like when people teach hustling as a lifestyle. That makes me angry, because as a brain nerd, I understand what hustling and constantly working does. And again, it landed me in the hospital. So I do not like seeing a lot of these influencers, one, not telling the full truth. It's irresponsible to me. Tell the whole truth. Don't just say get an LLC and I can make $100,000. Tell me the how. Tell me the why. Tell me your actual experiences. Don't sell me illusions. Sell me an actual, plan. I don't like when people put doubt in my head. And I understand people project a lot. And even when people tell you what your potential is, they're telling you what they would do again in your shoes. And people trying to say, even with my cleaning business, when I want to quit the cleaning business, people are like, oh, why? But you make so much money. It's so profitable. I'm not happy. And, bad decisions. Yeah, bad decision making, not prioritizing, budgeting like I should, taking too many chances. Because I say take chances, but take educated chances. Don't just jump into something because it feels right, and don't actually ask questions. I didn't ask questions. I didn't talk to anybody. And I thought I knew everything when I knew nothing. right? I made bad decisions that did not align, and I also didn't want to quit. So I was like, okay, something has to give. I have to start making better decisions, and now I'm good. Everything's back, haven't lost anything, but I lost it because I was making irresponsible decisions. I wasn't putting in the work I was supposed to put in. I was thinking that, my vibes would get me far. Like, no, girl, you got to actually work. You got to do things.
How did you use your military skill set and experience to transfer over to civilian life, especially with the niche market that you chose as a career field?
That's a good question. So one thing, like I said before, there's value in all information, right? One thing I did is I took a realistic look of everything I learned in the military rather than just what I learned in my job, right? Because I could say, oh, I know how to marshal an aircraft. I can get the aircraft in the spot. I could say that I know how to file awards and do evals and all that. But one thing I have to learn, I'm adaptable because I had to change jobs. I'm resilient. I have people skills, communication skills, because, talking to military is a whole different conversation, right? So I had to really take a full account of what my skills were, and I applied them in ways that helped me in my entrepreneur field. So things that I didn't really pay attention to before, like a communication, then is something that's very valuable now. And even like when handling a customer dispute, things like that, I really looked at all the skills that I learned and not just the hard ones. What were the soft skills that I learned? And I actually did a full analysis of everything I learned. And I asked myself an honest question, do you want to do this? Continue to do this, because you can have a skill and it can be valuable, but it's something that doesn't fulfill you. So I always look at what do I like and what do I want to pursue, and not just the obvious skills, looking at everything I learned in my military career. And I applied it with me trying to figure it out. And I'm also really applying it now with my instructional design because it requires me to talk to people all the time.
Valuable commodity I know of is information. Wouldn't you agree?
I don't even know what that means.
No one knows what it means, but it's provocative.
No, it's not.
It gets the people going.
It's your boy JR dropping them beats.